Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Planes, Trains, and Comic Books channel. My name is Matt, and today we're going to review the graphic novel, Did You Hear What Ed Gein Done? And before we get into that, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing, subscribing, all that good stuff, it really helps me out and lets me know what you guys want to see more of. So with that being said, let's get straight into this. So Did You Hear What Ed Gein Done is a new graphic novel that came out last week. It actually came out a little bit earlier than last week if you backed it on Kickstarter. So this was a Kickstarter that writer and artist Eric Powell, who does books like The Goon. I think originally it was for Dark Horse that he did them for, but now he publishes them under his own press, Albatross. He teams up with a guy named Harold Schechter, who has done a lot of books about true crime killers and things. And so that's like the basis for this book is we got real true crime author and the amazing art by Eric Powell. And if you've never seen art by Eric Powell, there's like maybe watercolors or it's got like a very distinct style. And so it's like perfect for kind of like old timey looking, and which this is great because it's set in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And then also his figures, like his humans and stuff, they tend to have like a little cartoony characteristic to them, which I wasn't exactly sure how that was going to look considering the subject matter of this book. If you don't know who Ed Gein is, he is an American serial killer who was the inspiration for books like Psycho and movies like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. He was a guy in Plainsfield, Wisconsin, who had a farm, and he killed at least two people that they know for sure, and then apparently dug up the graves of other town folk and in the area. This is a really, really good book. Like I said, I wasn't sure if the cartooniness was going to work, but it actually makes it way creepier when he gets into some of the more detailed aspects of the crimes or just like exactly what was going on behind the scenes kind of thing. So let's get straight into like this book and what it covers. This book covers the story of Ed Gein. It does it from childhood to death. So we learn, why he was the way he was, how his family life was, everything about his mother, his father, his brother. Basically, you just learn his rest of his family was fairly, we'll say, normal for the time, like alcoholic dad who beat his family and stuff, and then like brother who was just wanted to get out of that family, fairly normal, and then a mom who was very, very, very religious and very, very, very abusive and was very controlling with Ed. That is like the impetus, at least most people kind of say, or the arguments that they came up at the end of this with why he did what he did. A lot of these psychiatrists and psychologists were saying, it's all starts with the mom abuse of him as a young boy with that religious aspect. And then as he gets older, instead of being like the older brother where he's like, I want to like leave and not and do my own thing, he's like, no, I want to like be with mom. I want to stay with mom. And then that only feeds into psychosis later on as he's older. And then eventually she passes. And that's kind of what leads to the badness that happens. So I liked that they did his whole story because I wasn't sure. And I thought maybe it was just going to be about like the murders themselves or what he did. And this was very much, like I said, like a kind of straight biography of childhood to death. So I liked that because I didn't know much about his early life or what his family life was, other than he had an abusive mother. And then I have heard of the murders and stuff, what happened with them, just from like true crime shows, growing up or whatnot. And then I didn't know much about what happened to him afterwards either. So this goes into what happens after the trials and all that stuff, and what punishment he actually got, and like the kind of lasting effects of his crimes. So yeah, I really liked that aspect of it because, like I said, I didn't know most of those things. So that was really good. And then, like I said, the art is very interesting because his figures are very cartoonish, which is good for when they're trying to show empathy. He can draw a face really good, showing like emotion and like what's going on in their head. He nails like the way that Ed Gein looked, like with that lazy eye. He did a really good job of capturing Ed Gein in this, and like his kind of non-assuming figure in town, but then very terrifying when he was committing his murders and stuff. So there are some very terrifying panels in this book that I was like, wow, I don't know how he drew that, because it was super fucked up. So there, like, I should definitely say this is not for kids. Like I would say, 15 and up or something like that. Like, it's just, unless you have a kid that's really mature and knows about this stuff. Yeah, this is a really good book for young adults who like true crime. Basically, is what it would be. And like I said, they cover all the important stuff in his life, so it is like a well done biography, kind of researched book. But then the art kind of tips it over to really, really good, really accessible. And it's around like 200 pages, 200 something pages. And I mean, it flew by pretty fast. It was very interesting, very well done. It's definitely worth the money. I mean, this was $30, $29.99 on Amazon. But I would definitely check this one out if you were into true crime. With all that being said, I don't want to spoil too much of this book. I mean, it's a biography, so it's kind of like, or it's like true crime. So the story's out there if you just want to read a book or if you want to watch a program on it. But this is like probably the best version of this story I could think, because of the way that the art is done. It's so well done. So I would give this book a 5 out of 5 as far as graphic novels are concerned. Perfect read. It's standalone. You get the entire story in it. You don't need to know anything about him beforehand or afterwards. You would need to go research more, because it literally gives you everything in this. So if you like true crime, or if you're into really creepy stuff, or if you just want to try something new that seems interesting, check this one out for sure. With that being said, we will see you guys on the next one.